you know my story, you know that I wouldn't be here if not for teachers. You know, I don't come from a family that has a lot of wealth or a famous name. Nobody picked me to run in this seat. My mom was a 15-year-old high school dropout. My brother is a high school dropout. I come from a family of high school dropouts. I grew up in Saranac Lake, New York, in very rural poverty, raised on food stamps and free lunch in a pretty broken home. You know, Don Carlisto was one of my teachers. One of the people who helped me. Coach Carlisto. So when I was 16 years old in Saranac Lake, I moved out of my house. I emancipated myself. Despite all of that, because I had people like Don, because I had a quality public education, teachers who really took me under their wing, like Chuck Bell and Trish Preston, because I had a community that cared, I started to stand a chance. And I got a chance to go to college. I wasn't the first person to graduate just high school. I was the first person to graduate college. I went to grad school, graduated grad school. I got involved in public service. But public service for me isn't left or right or red and blue. Because I started working in Washington, D.C. for a really liberal congressman named Mike McNulty. I've also worked for a few years for a really conservative Republican in the state Senate, a guy named Tom Lewis. And for 3 years, I also worked for Governor Andrew Cuomo as his deputy policy director. So I've been all over the spectrum. And in between all that, when I was 25 years old, I quit my job in the Senate, and I enlisted in the U.S. Army. I became a ground combat platoon leader in the 1st Cavalry Division, and I led 40 soldiers across the mountains of eastern Afghanistan, in Wardak province, the most dangerous province in Afghanistan. And for 4 years, I served. And so I bring to the table, I think, an interesting background that we don't often see, because too often we see far left and far right, not right or wrong. And when I think about why I'm running, when I look at the world through the eyes of my 3-year-old daughter and my 1-year-old son, we can do so much better. And I don't want to wake up in 17 days and think I could have done more. Because 2 years ago, that's what happened. I woke up with a real pit in my stomach, thinking I should have done more. Right? We have an opportunity to change that. This is a district that's an open seat that votes for President Obama by 8 points. And it votes for President Trump by 2 points. And the difference between those 2 years is who showed up, who got out there, who mobilized and organized. That's the difference. When we win this seat, we flip the New York State Senate. Because it's just one seat. It's not 23, 24, 25 seats. One seat, and we can flip the New York State Senate. And that matters. Because it's how we're going to protect women's reproductive health rights. It's how we're going to ban the salary history question so my daughter's not growing up in a world where she's paid less for the same job because she's a woman. It's how we're going to fix the evaluation systems in APPR. It's how we're going to fully fund public schools and make sure kids who grow up like me still have an opportunity to succeed. That's why we're doing it. So don't forget it. I feel a lot of energy out there, but I know it's not for me. We have to look out for people. It's for those single moms who are working 2 jobs and can't afford the rent. They need you to knock on a couple more doors today. The kids who are growing up in broken education systems need you to make a couple phone calls today for me. Right? People who are still losing their jobs and their savings and their homes because they got sick, they need us to do a little bit more. And that's why we're here. So I promise if you can give us a little bit more, if you can help Tistria, if you can help me, if you can help Antonio, we can win these seats and we can flip the Senate. We can flip Congress. This is a district that can do both, and that's unheard of. You guys might not have had an opportunity to serve your country in a time of maximum danger like I did, but you can serve your state in a time of maximum danger. And that's going to reverberate for decades. So thank you so much for being here. I'm going to be out there walking with you today. I'm proud of you.